on the Vince Everett Ellison Show. I'm going to talk about why most white men are successful in America and most black men are not. We're going to deal with this riddle today on the Vince Everett Ellison Show. All right, let's get this thing started. You know, Norman Vincent Peale wrote a book called The Power of Positive Thinking. It was one of the best-selling books in history. And it just basically talks to people about thinking positively about their lives, about believing that you can do it, believing, having faith in yourself, preparing yourself, and thinking positively how it can lead you to success. And that without this concept of belief in yourself, planning, surrounding yourself with good people, surrounding yourself with people that are going to push you forward as opposed to hold you back, surrounding yourself with positive people. Hey, attaboy, there you go. You can do it. People that are going to pull you up and not push you down. How that is so important to being a successful human being, not just in your economic life, but also in your private and personal life. Jesus Christ talked about this when he said, you must believe. All things are possible to he who believes. Socrates said, as a man thinketh, so is he. Let's take all of that into consideration when you start thinking about black leadership in the United States of America and how negative their thought process is when it comes down to how they talk to black Americans. It's a crying shame. It's always about how you're held down, how you're discriminated against, how you're looked down upon, how your country hates you. But the main thing that aggravates me more than anything in the world is when these low-down, dirty, sorry jokers start talking about white supremacy. Think about what that does, not only to the mind of a black person, but the mind of a white person also. You've just said they are supreme. We must end white supremacy. How do you expect to do that? By making white people feel less about themselves? Oh, you're going to pass a law to just say we're going to end white supremacy. How do you do it? Man, I'm serious. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. And this is why white men in America have become, most white men are successful in this country, whatever they call success, and most African American men are not. You look at this white person daily and call him superior to you. That should build this white person up and should build you down when you look at him and say that he's superior. I mean, no other race in the world does it. No other race in America does it. The Jewish people don't talk about white supremacy. The Asian people aren't talking about it. You might have some Hispanics talk about it, but that's because they are basically where we are in most areas too. They're low. That's why the Hispanics that talk about it are also at the bottom. The ones that don't believe it are at the top. The reason why my family and I have been so successful in the United States of America is that we don't believe in white supremacy. Oh, it exists, but it just doesn't have any power over us. You know why? Because I'm an heir of Jesus Christ. I don't need a government program to compete. Because as I've said before, as sinful as you might think this white person is, he's not going to let the color of your skin get in the way of him making a profit. If that was the case, he would have never owned a slave. I ain't going to have them Negroes working for me. Get me some white folks in that field. No, the black man made him a profit because he worked in the field. And he kept him around. He might have beat the hell out of him and treated him like a dog, but he did keep him around. And he disrespected them because the black man allowed it. These people were not treated badly because they were black. They were treated badly because they were weak. And most white men just refused to be treated badly. And most black men accepted it. And I know what you're going to say. Well, there was more white men than black men. Not down south there wasn't. At the beginning of the Civil War, there were 4,500,000 whites down south. There were 4 million blacks down south. All the white men went to the Civil War to fight. All the able-bodied white men went to the Civil War to fight. Most of them came back. They were jacked up or dead. So most of the able-bodied black men down south were still intact, and most of the white men that came back came back in coffins, or they came back one leg, one eye, one arm shot off. South Carolina, there were 3 times more black men than white men. Mississippi, there were 2 times more black men than white men. White men put together something called the Mississippi Plan and the South Carolina Plan, and they used bribery, intimidation, and murder to subjugate the white men in those states, the black men in those states. And that means one thing: the black men were cowards, and the white men were not. They were half and half in Alabama and Georgia, and in the state of Louisiana, and they were subjugated. They allowed themselves to be subjugated. And then they started complaining and would not fight back. And to this day, same dynamic. They scream white supremacy. They will scream it from the mountaintops that the white man is superior to them. And I tell you what, man, that is the most aggravating thing in the world. Because you'll then find white people, especially liberals, they'll look at me and make the mistake of thinking that I have that same ideology, same mentality. And I have to get them straight real quick. You're looking at a different type of species in Vince Everett Ellison. No one is superior to me. No one. How do you feel about white supremacy? It's like voodoo. You have to believe in it for it to have any power over you. And I don't believe in it. It has no power over me. What about systemic racism? The Democrats control every system in the black community, and I'm not a Democrat. Therefore, their systems have no control over me. Well, what about the police? Police don't give me no problem. I treat them with respect. They treat me with respect. If they go outside the line and try to do me harm, I'll deal with it. I would rather be tried by 12 than carried by 6. Police officer's a man, I'm a man. We treat each other with respect. Never had a problem out of one in my life. So police brutality. Do I get pulled over by cops? Yep. Very seldom give me a ticket. We have a cordial conversation. I'm going on my way. Why? Because I treat them with respect. They treat me with respect. I don't drive dirty. Have my license, have my registration. It's their roads. I understand that as soon as I pull out of my driveway. What about employment? I work for myself. When I did work for them when I was very, very young, I was on time. I came early. I stayed late. I did my job well. Never had a problem with them. So I don't know what you're talking about. I just really don't. I hear you complaining about it all the time. But I really just don't know what you're talking about. And the thing that we've done, the mistake that black people have made, is that we've gone to the government for solutions to these problems. With Jewish, Asian, and Indian people just went out there and competed. They understood that their work was going to speak for them. When you look at Silicon Valley, you see people from Asian descent all over the place. Indians, Asians there, doing the job, making money, not complaining, competing. All over the place. Their parents demanded they be excellent in their academics. Demanded they be excellent in school. Then they come out and they do well in the marketplace because the marketplace looks at your skills, not your skin color. Martin Luther King Jr. and the Civil Rights Movement came out with that lie, that he's dreaming about a day that he wouldn't be judged by the color of his skin. You're never judged by the color of your skin. You're always judged by the content of your character. It is an absolute. It's a fallback position that is a lie. Because as I've said before, you don't get much blacker than me. You don't get much blacker than Sidney Poitier. And he won an Oscar for Lilies of the Field in 1963. You don't get much blacker than Hattie McDaniel, who won the Oscar for Gone with the Wind Boy, when was that? Back in the 1930s. You don't get much blacker than Jackie Robinson. But the brother can hit a baseball and he can run. These excuses have no merit. Not in the market. You have first generation Nigerians come over here, and they're the most successful immigrant group in the United States of America. And you don't get much darker than a Nigerian. Why? Education, work ethic. They're doctors, they're lawyers, they're engineers, and if you have a bad heart, and you're about to die of a heart, and you need something done to your heart, and you say, who's your best doctor? And they bring a Nigerian in that room, you're going to say, okay, you got the job, bruh. But what have we done? We said we're going to go to the government for remedy. So we got the 1964 Civil Rights Act. And even right now, I saw this ignorant story where because Donald Trump ended DEI, it also had some effect of removing the 1964 law that Lyndon Johnson passed, or 1965 law that ended segregation when it came to government facilities and things like that. So listen, Trump is starting resegregation. Oh, man. Y'all, I really wouldn't care. I just don't care. What if a white man call you the N-word? It's according to what mood I'm in. If I'm in one mood, if I got on a $6,000 suit and he called me the N-word, I'm going to just probably call him something back out of his name, tell me to make a move, I blow his brains out and be done with it. If I got my athletic gear on, I might just beat the hell out of him. And that's between me and him. But I've never had that happen to me. Never in my life. Well, it did happen when I was a little boy. I was walking on the streets in Jackson, Tennessee. I wrote about it in my book, The End of Tolerance. I was walking out in the streets in Jackson, Tennessee, and I was cutting up. I was like 4 years old. Me and Bobo was cutting up. And my mother was with us. And my mother always dressed just so very nice. And she had her gloves on and her little dress, you know, and her heels and her hat. And, of course, she was probably younger than 30. So my mother's a beautiful woman. And we was walking down the street, and me and Bobo was walking in front of her, and we were showing out, cutting up, whatever. And I wasn't looking where I was going, and I ran into the legs of this real tall white man. And I looked up at him, and he said, "Watch where you're going, you little N-word." I can't say the word on YouTube, but you know what I'm saying. And my mama said, "What you saying?" She cussed this white man out. She went from Genesis to Revelations on him with cussing. And he went back. He said, "Get out," and went back to slap her. And I saw my mama turn into a superhero. Mom goes into her purse and gets down to a squatting position and tells him, "Come on." And she could put a smile on her face. And the white man came back, she said, "Come on." And the guy said, "Girl, you crazy." She said, "Yeah, you better run." He ran off. And my mom told me. She said, "Vince, watch where you going from now on, but we ain't gonna let them cuss us and treat us bad any longer." And she walked off. That was my mama. I don't know what she had in that purse, but I think that white man knew that if she had come out with it, she's gonna lay him down. So that's why I don't see racism the way most black people see it. As I said again, what is your remedy to racism? Simple, what my mama did. It's Jesus in my 38. God's going to tell you to handle what you can handle. What you can't handle, he'll handle the rest. But on that day, I think my mama had her 38 on her. And you see how she ended that racism? I learned from the best. And because I carry myself and my family carries ourselves in that way, we don't have to deal with it. But, oh, Lord, let Al Sharpton and let the black preachers and let Jamal Bryant and let these jokers walk around here and tell you that you got to go to the federal government, get the federal government to pass a law. If anybody call you the N-word, they're supposed to lose their job. And then you walk around feeling good about yourself. Yeah, we showed them. Guess what happens, y'all? Oh, the white man, you got the government to pass a law that says that they got to hire you and they got to do all of this. And when you're on the job, they got to accommodate you, they got to treat you, they got to rub your back, got to treat you nice. They can all kind of foolishness. If you look at wrong, you can be sued. So guess what happens, y'all? The reason why black people are at the bottom, we're talking about first, last hire, and first fire. You know why? Because with all of these lawsuits, all these laws on the books, when they see you coming, guess what that employer sees? Lawsuit. I can't talk with you. I can't chastise you. I can't even coach you. Because the first thing you're going to cry is discrimination. Try to sue me for $1 million. My insurance premium is going to go sky high because I got you working for me. So guess what they do? And then they see the white man coming. White man walks in, can't sue for racial discrimination. Nope. Can't sue for gender discrimination. Nope. If he come in late and you chastise him or fire him, he has no recourse. That's right. He got to grind. All of these laws that you guys arbitrarily fall back on that think that helps you, does not. It puts you in a position of inconvenience. Tells the marketplace you're nothing but a problem. So these are transgenders and LGBTQ folks follow suit with black folks in the civil rights movement. And guess who are when it comes down to couples in America, married couples, the ones that make the most money? Gay men. Gay white men, rather. Gay white men. Guess who makes the least amount? Gay black men. You know why? Because gay white men go up in there and they grind. Gay black men go in flaming, acting a fool, pink, green, red hair with nails on. First thing they're going to actually do is use a women's bathroom. The first thing they're going to look for is some discrimination. The first thing they're going to do is try to find some reason to say that they have been marginalized and try to sue whoever they're working for. And when that boss man sees you coming, he sees trouble. He sees lawsuit. Most white men can't fall back on that. And when an employer sees them, they see a grinder, they see a guy that has to work because he can't fall back on all that gender, all that screaming, all of that. He don't like me because he's white. Very seldom do you see it. So Elon Musk, Trump administration, trying to help you ignorant black people out and you ignorant gay people. There's a great piece in the Post today about it. Says that Musk has the title is Elon Musk once a tacit backer of DEI, now is focusing on anti-white bias. This is what Musk said. He said that he's concerned that all the stuff that we're doing in the United States of America is destroying it. He said that because we are not having children, he said because we are not controlling our borders, he said Musk has warned that lower birth rates and immigration are diluting American culture. He didn't say white culture. This is something you ignorant, ghettoized Negroes got to understand. Black culture is part of American culture. White culture is part of American culture. Asian American culture. When you put American behind it, it's American culture. It's no way you can sit back and say that black Americans have not had an effect on American culture. From our food, to our music, to our dress. You can't say that white folk ain't had anything to do with American culture. Or Asians or Jews. So all of it together has made an American culture. So listen, he has warned, which is Musk, that lower birth rates and immigration are diluting American culture and the cultures of other majority white and Asian countries. This is Musk talking. Quote, we should be very cautious about having some sort of global mixing pot, he said earlier this year. He has called unchecked illegal immigration civilizational suicide. See that? He has called unchecked illegal immigration civilizational suicide and an invasion. He has also warned that declining birth rates are leading to population collapse. So Musk said that's why he's had over a dozen children himself. He's doing his part to repopulate the world. Well, we know one thing. Them children ain't got to be on welfare. Elon going to take care of all of them. So go ahead, Elon. Have 20 if you want to. But black folks have a problem with that. They are still thinking in some kind of way that American culture is white culture and that somehow or another this country can discriminate against them. And they don't understand that that's so stupid because right now 40% of America is not white. And within about 10, 15 years, it's going to be 50-50. You ain't going to be able to make it in America by being racist. That's old stuff. It's ridiculous. The only person in America right now that will judge you slowly on the color of your skin is an insane person. And you don't want to work for them. And I'm talking about an insane, like, black people, a lot of black people are the most racist people in America. Just racist. Yeah, I said it. Black people are the most racist people as a subgroup, as a group, than any group of people in America. Black folks will look at you, some black people, I ain't gonna say all black people, so scratch that. There are a lot of black people that will look at you in America and they will not do something for you because you're white or because you're Asian. And they'll try to do something for another black person just because they're black. Matter of fact, they'll also try to destroy another black person because they're black. Craziest thing I ever saw in my life. They will tell you outwardly, buy black. Support black business. How racist is that? So when y'all try to tell me black folks ain't racist, yeah, support black business. We got to stick together to fight against the white man. Let's boycott. Let's use blackmail and coercion to force companies and support white America into doing and force white America into doing what we want them to do. And they're stupid enough to think that kind of stuff is going to help them economically. And it never helps. So now they've come up with another plan, DEI. Let's force, since all the other crap we've done has forced business owners to say, no, you guys are too much of a liability. I don't want to hire you. We're going to now say, well, since you won't hire us based upon merit, we're going to start forcing you to hire us based on numbers. But if you don't have so many black people working for you, we can sue you. And Trump says no. The training wheels have got to come off of the United States of America. The training wheels have got to come off of the black community. It is time for you to go out there and ante up as men. Stop talking about white supremacy. Stop going up there telling the white man he's superior to you. Because I'm going to tell you something about what these white men did. They did come over here across the Atlantic Ocean. They did come and take on a nation that had an indigenous population that didn't appreciate them being here. And they fought for 200 years and they subdued it. Yes. They went from Plymouth Rock all the way to Los Angeles, California and took it. They went down into Texas and took it from the Mexicans. Yes. They never asked for respite. They never asked for an affirmative action program. They went out there and they grinded. That's America. And if you're going to be successful in this country, you got to do the same. And when you do that, you earn the respect of every good man. And there have been black men, the Buffalo Soldiers, the one that went out west, the Exodusters after the Civil War, and farmed and tilled the land, and are still out there today being prosperous. There are prosperous black, white, Jewish, Asian people all over this country. And then there are the ones in that other subgroup that's going to sit back and complain about it being too hard, about it being too difficult, about I need a handout, I need a respite. And they're the ones that gravitate to these ghetto kings, the Sharptons and the Jamal Bryants and all of these other ghettoized Negroes. The lower class people who believe exactly what they're supposed to believe. I'm inferior. You are what you think you are. As a man thinketh, so is he. So if you think you're inferior, I agree with you. If you think that the white man is superior to you, you're right. If you think that you need DEI in order to survive, you need it, but you ain't gonna get it. If you think that you need reparations for work that your ancestors did, you probably need it, but you're not gonna get it. You say, well, I went to high school, but the teachers didn't teach me to read and write. What do? Take one of them jobs them illegals had. You don't have to learn how to read and write to clean up, to go out in the field and work, to do manual labor, make a living. You might not become a millionaire doing it, but you can feed yourself and feed your family doing it. You don't have to be a millionaire to do floors, to cut grass. You don't have to have a college degree. People come across the Rio Grande, can't even speak English, and make more money in 1 year than most black men that have been in this country for 10 generations. Explain that. The guy working in your yard, you ought to speak to him, all he can say is, all he can do is wave at you. He don't even know the language. And is making more money than you can, than you make, and you've been here for 20 generations. Why? Grinding. Getting out there and getting it every day. So you go back to Norman Vincent Peale, power of positive thinking. And when you hear one of these no good lying black Democrats walk up to you and tell you what you can do, you think about Ronald Reagan. You think about my father that came out of the cotton plantation. You think about Joe Louis and him knocking out Max Melling. You think about what Jesus Christ said, all things are possible if you believe. You think about what Socrates said when he said that as a man thinketh, so is he. And then you think about all the men who have succeeded in America and who tells you that all these things are true. Or you can fall back to the Martin Luther Kings and the Al Sharptons of the world who tell you that you're nothing, you're nobody, you got to get a law passed, and that there's white supremacy and that the white man is superior to you. And when you think that, you're correct. He is superior. You are inferior. You are beneath. And that's where you belong. And that's where you should stay. And you stink in my nostrils, and I want you nowhere around me. You tell that to your child, you need to have your brains blown out. Figuratively. But that's why I run this show. And that's why I do what I do. To tell you that you're more than a conqueror. That through Jesus Christ you can do anything you want, can have anything you want. But the most important thing you will have is perfect peace. And I'm going to keep telling you that and driving it through your head because I'm here to wake you up. Hope I did you some good today. So come join me again for another edition of the Vince Everett Ellison Show. All right, friends, Vince Everett Ellison is here. I want you to go to my website. And on my website, you're going to see a lot of great stuff, man. You're going to see that we got T-shirts, we got caps. You got my books, my documentaries. You got all kinds of stuff on VinceSpeaksTruth.com. Go there. We're dropping new T-shirts. We're dropping new merchandise. My new book, The End of Tolerance, is there. The End of Tolerance. Make sure you get it. Make it #1. If you got my first 3, get The End of Tolerance. It's just as good. And it's telling us we have to end our tolerance with these leftists, these Democrats. We can no longer allow them to sexually groom our children. We can no longer allow them to castrate little boys and call them little girls, run God out of the public square, take away our guns, take away our sovereignty. No longer allow it. So go on VinceSpeaksTruth.com. That is VinceSpeaksTruth.com. Hit merchandise. You'll see the t-shirts. You'll see the caps. You'll see the books. You'll see the documentaries. You'll see it all. And let's keep this ball rolling. God bless you.